Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Art and Progressive School, going to start the same chapter, that is chapter number 13, photosynthesis in higher plants. So in this chapter we were discussing about the photosynthesis, how this photosynthesis takes place, what is the site of the photosynthesis. Like this we have completed, right? And there are majorly two steps: light reaction as well as the dark reaction. Okay, so if I will talk about the photosynthesis, what we can say in the light reaction as well as dark reaction. In light reaction takes place where? In the chloroplast of the plant. Or if I will talk about the plant, so it means that there are some cells which is known as the mesophyll cell. Okay, generally what we say, the mesophyll cells which is present in the green plants. Here in the cell, chloroplast is one of the cell organelle which is present here, and inside this cell organelle, what is there? There is some thylakoid are present. Okay, and the whole unit of thylakoid or the stacks of the thylakoids, it is known as the granum. Just to recall it, I am drawing it here. For example, this is the mesophyll cells, right? Here in this mesophyll cells, I will just draw in this type, mesophills, this one. Okay, so this is the mesophyll cells. Inside this mesophyll cell, I have drawn very large here, but chloroplast is somehow small. So inside this chloroplast, what is there? These thylakoids are present. Okay, as I have discussed that there are two types of thylakoids, granular thylakoids as well as the stromal thylakoids. Why? Because the matrix which is present in this chloroplast, it is known as what? Stroma. Okay, so here what we can say, that there are thylakoids. These thylakoids are connected with the stromal thylakoid, right? And here in this particular thylakoids, I will talk about the light reaction. What exactly it is happening in the photosynthesis? There will be breakdown of water. Okay, with the help of water in presence of light as well as CO2 is important. Okay, what we are getting the C6H12O6. This is the we can say the yield or the main output of photosynthesis. Why photosynthesis is required? Just for to get the glucose molecules. Okay, and then it can be stored in the plant in form of starch. So here what will happen, that the light reaction, because the light reaction as well as dark reaction, the light reaction will take place in this thylakoid membrane. Okay, in this thylakoid membrane, what will happen? The light reaction will take place. How? In presence of sunlight. In presence of sunlight, it will trap energy and it will excite electron. Why? Due to the photolysis of water. What is photolysis of water? Splitting of water in presence of light. So in presence of light, what will happen? The chlorophyll which is present here, it gets excited and here it will take place. Due to the splitting of water, what will happen? There will be formation of proton ion as well as the electron, and electron will move in this particular membrane. Like so, here after it, what we are getting, the byproduct of the light reaction, we are getting ADP and NADPH, right? So now this ADP and NADPH will move towards the stroma. This is the stroma of the chloroplast. In this stroma, what will happen? The next phase, that will be the dark reaction. Again I am saying, dark reaction doesn't mean that it is happening in the dark. It means that it is directly not dependent on the light. Okay, but light is essential. If light will not be there, what will happen? There will be no light reaction. Okay, and if there will be no light reaction, there will be no production of ATP and NADPH. Ultimately, there will be no formation of dark reaction. Right? So directly it doesn't require any sunlight, but yes, indirectly it need for the dark reaction. Now this ATP and NADPH will move in the stroma. Here what will happen? The CO2 which is coming from the outside. Okay, the CO2 which is coming from the outside in this chloroplast, what will happen? It will combine with ATP and NADPH, and what it will form? It will form the glucose. It means that the synthesis of food exactly taking place where? In the stroma of the chloroplast. Right here. So now in this dark reaction also, we have categorized two types of plant, that is the C3-4 plant and the C4 plants. Okay, so how the cycle takes place in the C3 plant and how the cycle follows in the C4 plant, we have to discuss in the dark reaction. So here that is a dark reaction where it is happening in the stroma of the chloroplast, and we are having two pathway, C3 pathway as well as the C4 pathway, right? Now, why we said C3 pathway? Because the first stable product which we are getting in this pathway, that was a 3-carbon compound. Okay, so we are getting 3-carbon compound in the C3 pathway. Already we have covered this one. So today we will discuss about the C4 pathway. Okay, the name itself indicates that if I am talking about the C4, it means that the first stable product which will form in this pathway, it will be carbon 4. Okay, or we can say 4-carbon compound. Okay, so here the 4-carbon compound is what? If I will talk about the 4-carbon compound, it means that oxaloacetic acid. Okay, rest of the things which is following in the C3 cycle, it will be same. Here in the C4 cycle, two types of pathway will follow, C4 as well as the C3. Okay, it doesn't mean that in C4 C3 will not work. Along with this one, there will be more C3 pathway. Here we will understand that how it follows here. Okay, now comes to the point that in C3 pathway we said that generally in the plant, what type of cell? Mesophyll cells are there. Okay, but sometimes there are in some of the plants which comes under this category, because earlier scientists used to know about only this pathway. They were not aware about the C4 pathway. Later on, as the studies happened, what happened? That the C4 pathway they discovered. How? Because there are some different anatomy in the plant. What is that anatomy? It is a Kranz anatomy. What we are seeing? The Kranz anatomy. Okay, as it is given by the Hans Krebs. Kranz here, not the Hans Krebs, but exactly the Kranz anatomy, the name from the scientist here. So Kranz anatomy means what? Kranz means something wreathing. Okay, so here along with this mesophyll cell, there are what? There are some wreathing structure. How? See here. If I will take the section of the leaf, okay, if I will cut the leaf, what I will see here, that some conducting tissues are present. Okay, some conducting tissue, phloem as well as xylem. Okay, these are the conducting tissue. These conducting tissue are surrounded by, these conducting tissues are surrounded by what? It is surrounded by some cells which is known as what? Which is known as the bundle sheath cells. Okay, these cells are having many chloroplasts and having thick wall, right? So here they are covered with some different types of cells which is present in this C4 plant. Now here you can see that again it is covered by some other cells which is known as the mesophyll cell. It means that two types of cells are present in the C4 plant, that is the we can say mesophyll cells, which we have done in C3 pathway also, as well as another one is the bundle sheath cells. Why we are seeing bundle sheath cells? Because they are just present like sheath, okay, which has covered it properly or surrounded it properly. Okay, now we will understand that what is the use of this bundle sheath cells. Okay, so we will understand that what is bundle, why this bundle sheath cell are important. So here first we will discuss that in Kranz anatomy what happens. Two types of cells are present. Outer one, that is the mesophyll cells, okay, which I have drawn outer one, and the inner one, this one is the spongy cells, right? So these cells are what? These are the spongy cells and they are surrounding the vascular bundles here. Okay, vascular bundles are, these are the conducting one or xylem and phloem. Okay, so now these are known as bundle sheath cells, and these bundle sheath cells having the A granule chloroplast. If you will recall the mesophyll cells, in the mesophyll cell we have said that there are chloroplasts which is of thylakoid type. Okay, and these thylakoids are having proper granum. They are arranged in a granule form. So here the chloroplast which is present here, they are the A granule, right? So now what is the use of this type of cells? In this Kranz anatomy, if I will talk about this bundle sheath cell, what is the use of this bundle cell? It means that they are having large number of chloroplast. Okay, so they contains the Bohr chloroplast as well as their walls are thick. I have drawn here thick walls. Why? Because if wall will be thick, what will happen? Directly there will be no entry of the we can say no entry of the CO2. Okay, so due to this, what will happen? There will be some different mechanisms which will take place in the C4 pathway. So here we have to understand that the thick wall is present in the bundle sheath cells. Now the third point is the no intercellular spaces. It means that, which I have drawn here, no spaces are present. If there will be no spaces, so there will be no transportation of, there will be no passage of any gases from inner to outward and outward to inner one, right? So here bundle sheath cell, we are having the functions. Okay, here I have given examples where you can see in case of monocots and specifically in maize, sugarcane, but these are less in case of gymnosperms. Okay, now the cycle has been given by the Hatch and Slack, and that's why it is also known as the Hatch and Slack pathway. So these are the common points which you have to memorize here. Next part, we will move towards the mechanism, how it works exactly in the leaves. So here I have drawn two types of cells which is present in case of C4 plants. What are they? The first one is the mesophyll cells and another one is the bundle sheath cells. So you can relate this diagram from here, that how inside this one there are vascular bundles, then outerly it is surrounding by what? By the bundle sheath cells. So this one is the bundle sheath cell and this one is the mesophyll cells, and these bundle sheath cells, they are thick as compared to this mesophyll cells. Okay, now the condition is that if in any temperate region or if any extreme temperature, what will happen? As there will be loss of water, okay, or we can say there is very less water and temperature is very high. Okay, if temperature will high, what will happen? If temperature will be high, then the leaves will close its stomata, right? The leaves will close their stomata because it is a, we can say, automatically it is happening in the leaf. So if temperature will be more, there is a need that there should be no water loss. If there will be no water loss, then it will retain the moisture inside the leaf, right? So if there will be closing of stomata when? During the daytime, because generally in the daytime what happens? The opening of stomata. Why? If the stomata will open, the CO2 which is present in the outside environment, it get inside and here, and due to this what we are getting? We are getting the food in the stroma. Okay, so how the food is preparing in the stroma? With the help of CO2, because the C6H12 which is present, the carbon which is present in the glucose, it is coming from where? From the CO2. Okay, and we can say that light is important for what? The splitting of water molecule. Okay, so here to synthesize the glucose molecule we need CO2. If there will be closing of stomata, so CO2 will not be able to enter inside the leaf. Okay, and at the one side in the light reaction, due to the splitting of water, what we are getting? We are getting oxygen also. Along with this, what? ATP and NADPH, it is sending oxygen towards the outer side. Okay, so what exactly it is happening here? The CO2 will not be able to enter inside these mesophyll cells, and here there will be more production of oxygen. Okay, so if stomata will be closed here, so oxygen will get accumulated inside the leaf, okay, or we can say inside the cell, and due to this what will happen? There will be the photorespiration. What is photorespiration? That in presence of light, they are getting respire. Why? Because in respiration we are releasing the oxygen, but this oxygen will be accumulated here and it will not be able to go outside. If it will not go outside, the CO2 will not enter inside it, and ultimately there will be no synthesis of food. Okay, because O2 is not helpful for synthesizing the C6H12O6. For preparing the food, we need the CO2. Okay, so in this condition, how the plants will cope up with the situation? Because in this case, they are having, because the plant which is mostly grown in those areas, in the temperate, or we can say in those areas which are having extreme temperature. In that areas, the plant having this type of anatomy which is known as the Kranz anatomy, and they are preventing the photorespiration. It means that if there will be condition of this photorespiration, or we can say in presence of light, there will be production of more oxygen inside the plant. So what type of pathway it will follow? The C4 pathway, and in this C4 pathway again C3 pathway is included. Okay, so here what will happen? These are the mesophyll cells. As I have said, it is thin in structure. Okay, and this bundle sheath cells, they are having thick structure. Okay, now the outer one is the cell wall. The inner to the cell wall, that is a plasma membrane. We know about the structure of these one. Then the connecting link. The connecting link between these two types of cell, that is a plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata is what? It is a cementing like structure which will join these cells here. Okay, now comes to the point that if CO2 is present in the outside the environment and it has to enter inside this cell, so it will not be possible for it to enter inside the bundle sheath cells. Why? Because these are very thick, and due to this thick one, the CO2 which is present outside, it will not enter inside this bundle sheath cells. Okay, and the food which is important for the plants, okay, the synthesis of food takes place in the C3 pathway. Okay, the synthesis of food only and only takes place where? In the C3 pathway. C4 pathway is just assisting it to work in a function in a proper manner, right? So CO2 will not enter inside it. If CO2 will not enter inside it, what will happen? We know that mesophyll cells, they are very, very good for what? For entering the CO2. Okay, so directly the bundle sheath cell, they are not getting the CO2, they are getting the CO2 from the mesophyll cells. Again, this CO2 will not be able to enter or to cross this membrane. Okay, so how it will enter into this one? And why we are saying that it is important to enter inside this bundle sheath cells? Because in case of C4 plants, the C3 cycle is present where? In the C4, or we can say the C3 pathway is following in the bundle sheath cells. Here the C3 pathway or the C3 acid it is not forming where? Into the mesophyll cells. Okay, so now what will happen here? It will follow the C3 pathway here. So for functioning of the C3 pathway, what is required? We require the CO2. Okay, now the CO2 which is present in atmosphere, it will enter inside the mesophyll cells. Okay, here when it will enter, it will combine with water, and we know that when the CO2 will combine with, when CO2 combines with water, what it is forming? It is forming the HCO3. Okay, like this, again it will break down, and what is happening? H2CO3, then HCO3 negative. So they are forming their ions. What they are forming? They are forming their ions. So H3CO3 negative is the ion of the combination of CO2 as well as water, right? So from here we have formed this bicarbonate. Now this bicarbonate will be combined with the PEP. Now question arises that what is PEP? Phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay, this phosphoenol pyruvate is what? It is the 3-carbon compound. Okay, now see here, it is a 3-carbon compound, and we are adding one more carbon from the CO2. Okay, so how many carbon we will get it here? We will get 4-carbon compound. Okay, so this is the thing which we have to understand, that addition of this CO2 as well as the PEP. Okay, PEP, what it will form? It will form the C4 acid, and C4 acid is what? C4 acid is the first stable compound in case of C4 pathway. That's why we are getting name from here. And this C4 compound is what? It is the oxaloacetic acid. Okay, so from here we are getting the oxaloacetic acid. Now this reaction, this particular step, it is happening in presence of some enzyme. If you will recall the earlier C3 pathway, it happens in presence of the ribosco enzyme. Okay, Rubisco enzyme was there as the primary acceptor of CO2. It is taking the CO2 from the outwards. So with the help of Rubisco, they are changing it. Okay, this enzyme is useful for what? Rubisco is important for what? For carboxylation, or we can say oxygenation. It means that it can use both CO2 as well as O2 for the fixation. Okay, so here there is particular enzyme which is known as pepcase. Okay, PEP is related to what? Phosphoenol pyruvate, and case is related to the carboxylase. So it means that it only and only fixes the CO2. Okay, it will not fix any O2. It means that you can relate that the oxygen which is accumulating inside the leaves, it will not get fixed with this PEP. Okay, if we will take again the Rubisco enzyme which we used in the C3 pathway. In C3 pathway, what we have used? We used in the mesophyll cells what type of enzyme? Rubisco enzyme. And Rubisco enzyme having both tendency or with affinity for both carbon dioxide as well as oxygen. But here what is required? That there should be no fixation of oxygen. Okay, so what we are using? We are using the enzyme pepcase. So this pepcase is just only and only fixes the CO2 which is already present inside the plant and coming from the outwards, and here stomata has been closed. Okay, so whatever the CO2 which is present here, it will get fixed here. That's why this step it is known as a fixation. Fixation means that CO2 has been fixed here and it has formed the C4 acid, and this is the oxaloacetic acid. Again it will convert itself into the malic acid, okay, in form of the malate ions. Because why? Because these are very we can say it can pass on through the membrane. Now directly we have not taken CO2 in this bundle sheet cells, but indirectly we have taken the CO2 in form of this malate ion, and this malate ion, which is the we can say it is the C4 acid, and it will get enter inside the bundle sheet cells. So inside this bundle sheet cells we are having this C4 acid again. So this C4 acid will release one CO2. If one CO2 will get released, how many carbon will be here in the C4 acid? Only 3. Okay, so out of this 4, we have removed one CO2 with the help of which step? Decarboxylation. Decarboxylation is what? The removal of CO2. So as the CO2 will remove from here, there will be only C3 acid. Again, the C3 acid is what? It is nothing. It will go through towards the PEP because it has to make again the PEP, because this cycle will remain continue. Okay, so what type of step it will be? Regeneration. Regeneration means to generate again and again. So as the C3 acid will form here, it will regenerate the PAP, which is the 3 carbon compound right here. So what is happening? We have started the cycle from the 3 carbon compound. As it is getting the CO2, it will form the 4 carbon compound. Then this 4 carbon compound, it will change into some ions which can pass on through this membrane, because these, if it will be in an ion form, so it is good for them to pass on very easily, right? Then in the next step, it will follow the decarboxylation. Due to the decarboxylation, there will be only 3 carbon compound. Again, it will regenerate the 3 carbon compound from here, that is the PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, right here. Now comes to the other point. So this CO2, we need this CO2. Why? For the synthesis of food. So the CO2 which is coming here in form of this carbonate ion from this HCO3, what it will happen? It will follow the C3 pathway. And what is this C3 pathway? We know that in C3 pathway there is one CO2 or the primary acceptor of carbon dioxide. And what is the primary acceptor of carbon dioxide in the C3 pathway? It is what? It is the RUBP. Okay, RUBP. With the help, in the presence of the RUBP or Rubisco enzyme, it will convert into the 3 carbon compound. Okay, so 3 carbon compound is there, and here it has taken the CO2 from this mesophyll cells, and it will follow the same cycle. It will follow the same cycle. And what was that cycle there? That fixation, in which the CO2 fixes, okay, then reduction and regeneration. So with the help of these 3 methods, what are they? That carbon fixation, then second one reduction and regeneration, we are getting that triose, we are getting the glucose. Okay, so we are getting the glucose with the help of the C3 pathway. It means that in this whole pathway, the C3 pathway, again it is very, very important, but this C3 pathway needs CO2 for the fixation of the CO2 and ultimately for the formation of glucose. So it will not be able to take directly CO2 from the outward environment. So it is going to take with the help of the mesophyll cells, right? So very short, I have explained it here. In step 1, the CO2 of fixation takes place here, where it is happening in the mesophyll cells, and the primary acceptor of CO2 here, that is PAP. Okay, phosphoenol pyruvate. While in case of C3 pathway, it was the Ribisco or RUBP, ribulose biphosphate. Here, this is PEP. Now, step 2, it will combine with CO2. Okay, it will combine with CO2 which is coming from outside in presence of enzyme, that is the peptase. This enzyme will act as a carboxylase and it will fix the CO2, and what it will form? It will form the 4-carbon compound, that is the oxaloacetic acid. Now, this oxaloacetic acid or the 4-carbon compound, we can say it will transport towards the bundle sheath cells, and as it will transport to the bundle sheath cells, it will release the CO2 with the help of decarboxylation, and again it is forming the 3-carbon compound. Right? Step 4, the 3-carbon compound, again it will go back towards the mesophyll cells, and what they are going to regenerate? The PAP. Okay, so this is the whole cycle of the C4 pathway. And what is the function of the C4 pathway? That it will prevent the photorespiration, which is not good for the plants. Right here. So now we will move towards the short thing about the photorespiration, what exactly it is happening here. Now here we will understand that what is photorespiration. Photo relates to what? Light, and respiration means what is happening in the respiration? Release of oxygen, and along with this, what is happening? The release of oxygen from outwards, and we are taking the oxygen inside and releasing the CO2. Okay, so this is the photorespiration. Here, what will happen in the plants? The oxygen will remain inside here and it will not be able to get outward, right? So it is a light dependent cyclic process. Again, it is a cyclic process which is only and only present in form of light. Okay, in this one there will be oxygenation of RUBP. Why? As I have said right now, that in the leaves, when the temperature will get high or at the extreme temperature, the stomata will get closed in either condition, whether it is a high temperature or the low temperature. Okay, so there must be optimal temperature. So if temperature will get extreme, so the stomata will get closed, and due to this closing of stomata, the oxygen which is present here with the plants will give oxygen. This is the respiration here. So the oxygen will get accumulated inside the leaf and it will not be able to go outwards. Okay, so now here what is exactly it is going to happen? That this RUBP, okay, because RUBP is present where? Into the bundle sheath cells of the C4 pathway. Okay, and in case of C3 pathway, RUBP is present in the mesophyll cells. So here this RUBP is a acceptor of CO2. Okay, it is a primary acceptor of CO2, so it will accept the CO2. But here, instead of accepting the CO2, what it will accept? It will accept the RUBP. Okay, sorry, it will accept the oxygen. Why? Because it is having what type of enzyme? Ribisco. Ribisco is what? Ribisco, ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxidase enzyme. This enzyme will having the tendency of fixing the CO2 as well as O2, but it depends. Why? Because if O2 will be more, then it will combine with oxygen. If CO2 will more, then it will combine with CO2. Okay. So now in this condition where there will be photorespiration, what will happen? There will be more oxygen. So this RUBP will attach with this oxygen, right? And it will, when it will attach with this oxygen, it will not going to form any food. Okay, so that's why it is also known as a wasteful process. Because why photosynthesis is required? Because we are getting the oxygen from the plant, we are getting food from the plant. If it is not happening in the plant, it is wasteful, right? So in this photorespiration, neither we are getting the oxygen nor we are getting the food. So that's why it is wasteful process, right? Now comes to the point that what is the site where it will take place? It generally takes place in the chloroplast, but yes, the mitochondria and the peroxisome is again very, very important to take the process further, right? Now Right now I have discussed that RUP, carboxylase oxidase enzyme is present, which will fix where? It will fix both CO2 and O2, but preferably it will prefer the concentration. If concentration of CO2 will be more, it will fix the CO2. If the concentration of oxygen will be more, it will fix with the O2, right? And exactly what it is happening? It is happening in the dark reaction, and this dark reaction takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. So the whole process which is going to happen here, it will take place in the dark phase or the dark reaction, right? Ribosco is what? Oxidase enzyme. Okay, now oxygen will be more. What will happen if concentration of oxygen will be more? It will act as a oxidase enzyme, and due to this it will not be able to fix the CO2, and what it will form the product? PGA. Okay, and this PGA is not that much important for us here. So instead phosphoglycerate, we are forming the phosphoglycolate in case of photorespiration. So the product which is forming here in this photorespiration, it is of no use. Okay. Now comes to the process that why it is wasteful. Two things are there: no synthesis of sugar, no synthesis of glucose, no production of ATP or NADP. It means that no use. Now CO2 is released with utilization of O2. We are saying that CO2 is utilizing here, and in which plant we are seeing this type of pathway or this photorespiration? In the temperate plants, because if temperature will be more, so generally their stomata will remain closed, and the condition is that they will not prepare the food. So in this condition they will follow what type of pathway? C4 pathway. Okay, if there will be C4 pathway, there will be more fixing of CO2, not directly but yes indirectly, right? So the C4 pathway having very important role, that it is preventing the photorespiration, right? As well as in C4 pathway we are getting the higher productivity, because the fixation of CO2 will be more. Okay. Now in which crops we can see? In the temperate plants, bean, cotton, rice, wheat, barley, in all these crops we can see that this photorespiration is happening, and for preventing this photorespiration, one of the things that is a C4 pathway. Okay, now comes to the point that what is the conversion. So here what we are getting? We are getting the 2-phosphoglycolate, then it will form the glycolic acid, then it will form the glycine and serine. So ultimately of no use. Now question arises that factors affecting photosynthesis. We said that light is important, we know that carbon dioxide is important, water is important. So ultimately what are the factors which are affecting the photosynthesis? Okay, so there may be some internal factor and there may be some external factor. Okay, the name indicates that external factor which is affecting the outer part. Okay, and in internal factors, those are affecting the internal part. It means that there are some factors which is present inside the plant or inside the cells which are affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, so ultimately what happens? We are checking the photosynthesis rate. Okay, so the rate of photosynthesis we are seeing here. Okay, the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, now I will make you understand that how this graph will be followed here, but before that we will understand that what are these factors. So internal factor as well as the external factor. If I will talk about the internal factors, what can be the factors? Number. It means that if the number of chloroplast will be more, there will be more photosynthesis, right? As you can see in case of bundle sheet cells, they are having large number of chloroplasts, and due to that we are getting the more productivity, right? The photosynthesis will be more, then there will be formation of food will be more. Size, yes, size also matters here. Why? Because if there will be more size, okay, if the leaves will be of more size, it will trap more energy. Okay, the rate of photosynthesis will also be more. So directly and indirectly they are correlated. So the size will affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Then comes to another point, age. The plant which are of young age, they will follow the more photosynthesis as compared to the plants which are of the matured age. Okay, or in case of senescence. Now comes to the orientation of leaves. Orientation means that how the leaves get oriented. If the leaves are oriented like this, okay, if it is a dense forest, okay, so the leaves will not get that much sunlight from the or we get that much light from the sunlight. Why? Because the orientation is not proper. If the orientation will be of spreading type, Okay, if the orientation will be a spreading type, then there will be more chances of getting sun from there, and due to that there will be more photosynthesis. So all these are the we can say internal factors which is affecting the rate of photosynthesis, and here we are talking about the chloroplast which is present inside the cells. Okay, now the chlorophyll content, again this chlorophyll content is present in the chloroplast. Then CO2 concentration, here we are talking about the CO2 concentration which is present inside the leaves or the mesophyll cells, because if CO2 will be more inside the cells, there will be more fixation of CO2. If there will be more fixation of CO2, there will be more synthesis of food. So like this we have correlated these things. Okay, now comes to the external factor. External factor is what? Light, CO2 concentration, temperature and water. But before that, I just want to make you understand about this Blackman law of limiting factor. What does it mean? See, earlier it was used to say that temperature should be minimum, maximum, optimum, but later on this scientist came here and he suggested that yes, all the factors, okay, when any of the process controlled by more than one factor, so this photosynthesis controlled by these many factors, but here if any one process, that is the photosynthesis process, will be controlled by different factors, what will happen? The rate of process, it means the rate of photosynthesis is limited by the factor which is nearer to the minimal value. It means that it will follow that factor which is having the minimum value. For example, I said that yes, light is sufficient, okay, CO2 concentration is sufficient, water is sufficient, everything is fine. But what about the temperature? If temperature will get low, then there will be no rate of photosynthesis. Okay, so it will get affected, the rate of photosynthesis. So we are moving towards the temperature. It means that it is the minimum thing. Okay, we have completed all the factors here, but we are not achieved the proper temperature. So it get affected the rate of photosynthesis. So here the minimal things, okay, the minimal things or the minimal value will affect the rate of that process, that is the photosynthesis. Okay, likewise, if all these things are there, temperature is there, CO2 is there, but there will be no proper light, so what will happen? There will be no affected areas of photosynthesis. Okay, as well as if light will be more, what will happen? There will be breakdown of the chlorophyll. So all these factors are important, but it will follow as according to the Blackman's law, because as we are getting the highest value, we are going for the saturation level. Okay, so after that there will be no rate of, there will be no photosynthesis. So we have to achieve that one. So now comes to the external factors. What are these external factors? For example, light. Light is very, very important. If there will be no proper light, what will happen? There will be no splitting of water molecules, and this light should be of proper wavelength. We have done this thing that we are having two types of chlorophyll, okay, that is P680 and P700 nanometer. So there must be a proper light of proper wavelength, and if it will not be there, then there will be no rate of photosynthesis, or it means that there will be no photosynthesis. Okay, now comes to the CO2 concentration. If CO2 concentration will be more, okay, it should not be more than the optimum value, and it should not be lower than the optimal value. If it will be more, what will happen? There will be no proper pathway. If it will be less, there will be no fixation of CO2, no synthesis of food. Okay, now comes to the temperature. Temperature is what? If temperature will exceed, what will happen? In the extreme temperature, whether it is a high or low, the stomata will get closed. If stomata will get closed, there will be no entry of the CO2 and there will be no fixation of CO2. The photosynthesis will be affected here. Comes to the water. We know that water is important. Why? Water is important for what? For the splitting of this H2O. Okay, if there will be no splitting of water molecule, what will happen? Then there will be no release of oxygen, and the role of photosynthesis is what? The release of oxygen. So oxygen will not get released from the photosynthesis. Ultimately, what will happen? There will be no exchange of gases between O2 and CO2, and the CO2 will not get enter inside, and there will be no photosynthesis. So here we have discussed that how these factors are affecting the photosynthesis. So here the rate of if I will see the rate of photosynthesis along with the temperature, okay, along with the temperature. So here it is following like this, that if we are increasing the temperature, the photosynthesis, but it should not be up to the maximum level. If there will be more level, what will happen? It will achieve the saturation level and there will be no increase of the photosynthesis. So what is required? This should be in a gradual form. Okay, if it will be in a very fast form, there will be no photosynthesis. Okay, so here we have discussed about the whole photosynthesis, how it is happening, and later on we will discuss the next chapter. This chapter is completed here. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.